Welcome, one and all, into Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. This is the second of two streams that we typically offer on any given day. We do one called High Noon. That comes on at noon, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's just me, topics, current events, that kind of thing. That is every Monday through Friday, noon till, well, whenever. Then we come back. I'm not like the guy sitting on my tail of my polo shirt here, and it's kind of uncomfortable. Then James and I, we come by here at night, 9 p.m. Central Time, and we do this. Hi, James. Everybody wave at James. Look at him. Okay.
Hey, how you doing, everybody?
Ooh. What's new? What's going on?
I shaved my beard.
Did you have a beard? Let me see. You do look a little clean shaven.
Yeah, I had a beard.
Who's he look like, chat room? He looks like somebody. I can't put my finger on it. Look like somebody.
Like a freaking dork is what I look like. I get it. Don't make fun of me.
All right. Well, it's Tuesday, so that means Kelly's here. Look, it's Kelly. I know she's supposed to be here on Mondays, but we've had a bad couple of Mondays. Hi, Kelly.
No, your shit doesn't work again.
It doesn't work. My camera needs to be turned on me, too, since I'm going to be so squeezed out. Yeah. Look at that headset. We can't hear you.
Not a word.
Yeah. James, how you been? What's going on? Well, she figures that out. We'll figure out exactly. We'll hear her when she talks. That'll be.
Yeah, when she figures it out, we'll have a sign.
What's new, James? What have you been doing? I've been on vacation. I'm like, I told everybody about these streams a couple of months ago. I said, look, we're coming up on a period of time where it's going to be very chaotic hours. You won't be able to count on the shows as you typically do, at least until the 1st of August. The month of July, all bets are off, James. I got my kid. It's my birthday month. Everybody's on vacation. They're out of it. You know what I'm saying? So this is actually the first show that I've done since the last time you and I did a show on Thursday of last week.
Okay, that's unusually long pause for you.
Mm-hmm.
So are you filling it with worthy replacements of your time?
Well, I guess that all depends on what you consider worthy. I mean, how do you define worthy? I think my mental health is extremely important. So anything that there she goes.
Hey.
What is this one? Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
But no, James, I'm not particularly. I'm just enjoying the time off, spending time.
Time off?
So you're not doing anything? You're not like
I have
on some adventure or going on a vacation or visiting a relative?
No, you want to know what I'm doing? I have had. All right, so the reason that the shows are interrupted during the day is because it's like camps and lifting camps, and then 1:15 he needs to do this and that.
Track meets? Do you have track meets?
No.
I have those.
A lot of lifting things going on, and so there are no noon shows until this week of camp is over, and that's on Thursday. So I'll be back to doing noon shows on Thursday. But other than that, James, no. I come home, and you know what I do? I lay there and I re-binged Entourage over the course of the last week.
Is that on HBO Max?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll look that up.
James, did you watch Entourage back when it first came through?
I did watch Entourage, and it was funny because I got to catch up on it on demand, like right before it finished. So I'm one of these people that jumped on the bandwagon late and binged it all right before the last season came out. And so I got to be there for like the season finale when they go snowboarding and whatnot.
Well, I'll tell you the reason I thought it was important for me to re-binge it is because I think that Time has dubbed it a douchebaggy show. I
think I've heard that.
It's empowered the douchebag movement. Certainly no other show really embodied the aspirational fantasies of the douchebag class quite like Entourage did. So I wanted to rewatch it to see if it really was just douchebaggy. And it's not. It's actually a very well-written show. It's very funny. It holds up the second time around. But yes, I could see why the more sophisticated aspects of the show, like the writing is impeccable. The writing is Jeremy Piven's performance is incredible. There are incredible performances all over that show. And the writing is just magical. I think those subtleties that maybe us, the refined class of television viewer, might enjoy, were lost on the douchebag crowd who just wanted to see more poolside bikini parties at the Beverly Hilton Hotel.
Yeah, no, I'm not of that. I just actually had a conversation with my daughter, and I'm like, oh, this they them pronouns is really driving me crazy. Because like I can't it's and she's like, "Mom, this is just a part of your time that you're just not going to get back." And I'm like, but it's confusing to me when I see they went to the beach and then it's only Demi Lovato. Was she with somebody? It's just like I just can't. Can we just come up with a word for somebody who just wants to be non-gender?
It. Why
No,
can't it
it
just be
I
doesn't
like
it?
seem
it.
right.
I
No,
love
it's
it.
not right.
Look, I
It.
like the terms also he, she, and she male.
Yes.
I just don't like they them because then I think that they're telling me a story about more than
Mhm.
one person and I wonder who the other people are.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kelly, you're absolutely right. Numerous times over the past couple of years, I've had to stop myself in reading a story and go, wait, is this just one person there?
Yeah.
Or is it,
Yeah.
why are they calling them they? Now I get it. I mean, I don't stop down for quite the period of time that I did maybe in the past. Now I just go, it's one of those deals.
I understand. I don't care. Like you can refer to yourself as like a unicorn. Doesn't matter to me. But when you're taking words that already mean something and changing them to mean something else, I can't.
Yeah.
I have a difficulty following. Come up with another word.
I read stupid stuff to begin with, so don't challenge me. Don't make me in the middle of reading something, some gossipy thing. Because honestly, if the story's about they or them going to the beach, we're not exactly reading UN briefings.
I know.
We're
Honestly, though, one of the
we're
funniest
reading
thing is
Perez Hilton or something.
one of the YouTubers that I follow, Juicy Scoop, because she talks about reality TV, has started calling Demi Lovato Themi Gelato because she's them. And then she had that fit about how they had candy near the cash register at a gelato store. And she felt triggered from her eating disorder that they were offering candy and could not purchase her gelato because she couldn't get past it. And look, Demi's been through a lot. Okay, I get it. To go on a tirade against a gelato store because they had candy at the front. I mean, how do you check out of a grocery store? That's where the candy is.
Dude, life's good if that's your problem.
It's just, I did appreciate the Demi Lovato. That's mean of me, though. I should not like that, but it's true though. I just can't. I can't keep up, and it's not because I have ill intentions. It's just hard to keep up.
Yeah, I don't care. You keep up. You've got young kids, so you're still both of you. Oh, geez, all three of us have young kids. So I guess to some degree, we're all going to be hit with some level of modern pop culture awareness, just funneled through our kids. I don't care about gossip anymore, though. I don't like Hollywood gossip. So I can't tell you the last time I was at a TMZ or
So you don't know about Jen Shaw taking a plea deal?
I don't know who's Jen Shaw.
Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. She's got a $9.5 million fine in restitution for the people that she conned out of her money. And
if I can ever name
6.5 in forfeitures and 14 years in prison.
James.
Okay. Yeah. If I can ever name any of the Real Housewives of anywhere, you all have permission to come hit me in the face.
I guarantee you absolutely can.
How does your wife not watch these shows? I thought this was like required viewing for America's Wife class.
No, my wife doesn't watch any of that.
It doesn't even matter if you watch it or not. It's just like that in Kimmy Schmidt, how she would recite sometimes things about Kardashians, and she'd go, "How do I know that? It wasn't the regular news." And it's just, I don't watch the Kardashians either, yet I can tell you some of what's happening in their lives, and I don't know how I know that. I've seen some Kardashian episodes, I think, like if I left Eon too long and then it moved to that and then I'm wandering around, I'm like, what the hell? Because I'm not interested in that stuff. But yet I can name all the Kardashian sisters. Sometimes I can't recognize them in photos because they look all the same.
I don't think I can do that. Are you including Jenners or just Kardashians?
No, Jenners too. Too.
Man, see, there might be a spare Jenner out there that I don't know about.
Probably likely.
Yeah, no. James, can you name all the Kardashian sisters?
There's 3 of them, right?
There's 3 Kardashians.
Yeah,
yes.
Kim, Khloe, Kourtney.
And then what are the Jenners?
Kendall and Kylie.
See? See? And how do
That's
you know
all-
that? You don't watch the show, but you know all of them. That's
Is-
what I'm talking about. Like
'Cause
somehow
I've had to
it
sit
just
through every
seeps
top
into
of the
shit.
yeah, I've had to sit through every top of the hour news for the last 12 years or whatever straight. So.
Isn't there a rando guy dropped in there too somewhere? Or is he like
Rob.
or something?
Oh,
Yeah, but
there's a
Rob's
Rob
not on.
Kardashian.
Yeah.
And then there was like I couldn't pick these people out of a lineup, but there was like a Scott Disick.
Yeah.
In there.
Uh-huh.
And then there's like a whole smattering of basketball players, right? And there are like 4 of them or something.
Yeah, and Chloe's constantly surprised that her baby daddy would be cheating on her as the NBA player. Duh. Yeah. What are you thinking? Athletes are constantly cheating.
Yeah, see, NBA players are sort of my alpha example on my argument in favor of polygamy. You might as well just let them just get a harem going and let them all live in the same big dumb mansion, and he can support them all. It's better than breaking it up into 6 different.
It doesn't
broken
even matter.
families.
I feel like if you sign on, like she's going to be with Tristan Thompson. God knows how I freaking know that. Aren't you going to assume that he's cheating on you all the time, especially after he cheated on you when you were pregnant and then you gave birth and then you found out and then you take him back? Like what? He's had some kind of conversation with God and he's completely come around? No.
He's out. I think he's out of the league now. So that
is he really?
Things. Well, he was with the Bulls last year, and he's not coming back.
I didn't know that.
And he was barely with the Bulls. He's garbage. His whole career is over. But maybe that's good.
He'll be fine. He'll find chicks
now. Yeah.
What difference does it make?
James, you want to do a monologue? I saw you didn't send me anything.
No, I did. I just sent it kind of late. I would if that's okay. May I have the floor, please?
Oh God, this guy. Yeah,
I'm being polite about it.
There you go. All right.
Being polite about the floor thing.
Put him up there like that. There he goes.
Look, and I'm not going full black and white. I'm just kind of desaturating it a little bit. See, you like that? It's a good.
Yeah, whatever. We'll handle it. That's fine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Comfort Nest stage high atop the 1% compound in beautiful downtown Highland Park, Texas. He's James Parker. I'm on vacation.
I know, right? I couldn't have been like a James Jenner Parker. Elon Musk has now terminated his $44 billion deal to buy Twitter, proving that the father of 10 is capable of pulling out.
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah.
Well, you don't like when I opine in between your stories, so.
Well, I hear you over there dog panting like.
He's got more kids. That's interesting to me.
No, now he's being sued by Twitter for backing out.
He's example number 2 in my polygamy argument. Actually, Amber Heard is writing a memoir. Guess what kind of pencil she's using to take the notes for her book, guys?
I don't know what kind.
I don't know.
Come on, what kind of pencil? Can you even name a kind of pencil?
A lead?
Number 2.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. Like, no.
Number 2.
Get it? Number 2?
Mm-hmm.
Because she doo-dooed. All right. July is National Cell Phone Courtesy Month, or as millennials call it, July.
Get out.
Hey.
Who are you yelling at over there?
Lachlan, get out.
Lachlan can be on the
My
show.
son who should be asleep.
Why don't you just mute your microphone? No one has to know. Monticello, I'm sorry, the Virginia home of President Jefferson, clearly not, is Monticello's going woke. The historic landmark is phasing out Thomas Jefferson and phasing in George Jefferson.
You know what's weird? That is the second George Jefferson joke I've heard today.
Oh, yeah? What was the first? Let's see if it's better.
It's something about how he was the only one that was funny on that show.
Well, that's not true.
Okay, I didn't think so either, but I wasn't critiquing it. I was just like, oh, all right, whatever. We're talking about George Jefferson now. What year is this?
The U.S. Postal Service lost $4.9 billion last year. The really embarrassing part, though, is they lost it in the mail.
Boo! Boo!
Okay.
Boo!
Okay.
Dig deeper into your U.S. postal system.
You'll
figure out a little something about why they're broke.
I didn't make them lose money.
Oh, Kelly's going all Q on us. What do you got?
No, it's just because they were forced to pay upfront retirement benefits from. There's a whole story with it.
According to a new survey, Kelly, did you hear about this one?
Probably
47%
not.
of teens can text with their eyes closed. Fortunately, most of them say it doesn't really affect their driving.
Mm.
Dude, I text and drive every day. According to a new
No.
study, early retirement can kill you.
We all do.
Doctors say you're much better off if you just work yourself to death.
All right, next.
Okay.
I wasn't ready
Happy
for that.
birthday to Octomom. Remember her? She's 47 now. That freak. If you want to send her a gift, please, no fertility drugs. Don't send her any
No.
more.
Wouldn't matter.
Send her.
She's 47. It's not going to happen.
She's gonna find a way. She will find a way.
She will not.
All right. And finally, happy birthday to Christy McGee of Fleetwood Mac. Did I even say that right? I don't want to say she's getting old, but she and the band have a new song called Don't Stop Thinking About My Stair Lift.
Did I pronounce that right?
Who was that chick from The Pretenders? Chrissy
Chrissy Hines.
Hines.
She was a
Hyde or
total
Hines?
bitch.
Yeah, I hate her.
Pugs
I
did
hate her.
not like her at all.
No. And you know what sucks about Chrissy Hine, Kelly? I mentioned this on there is a docuseries, it's a miniseries, it's actors. But it's the story of the Sex Pistols. It's called Pistols. It's on Hulu and it's really good. Like it's really interesting. And
Okay.
Chrissy Hine is one of the main characters in this show. And I loved this miniseries. I loved it. I thought it was great. And the thing that I hated most about it was that they made Chrissy Hine really likable.
She was
Like,
a bitch.
she was a bitch. In
Yep.
this whole miniseries, you're like, oh, she's just the American
No.
girl in London working the front desk for the Sex Pistols, and they're so mean to her, and they won't give her a shot. Yeah, she's a bitch.
You know who else was a bitch? Was Alton Brown of the Food Network
Was
and
he?
Iron Chef. Yes, he was a bitch. We interviewed him when we were at Roadhouse.
Did we interview him a number of times? I thought we talked to him a couple. I thought he was one
Yes.
of your favorites.
And Declan loved him. My son, who's now
Oh.
25 and a teacher, and that scares me, had asked him questions, and he was just the all-knowing, self-absorbed person that he is. I still like to watch him, but I know in my head that guy's a dick. He's a dick.
Yeah.
So what did Chrissy do to y'all? Did y'all?
She was a
experience this
bitch, and how
personally?
she answered everything, she was just like, it's like everything was like a
So y'all interviewed her.
God. Yes, we interviewed her.
What was the setting? Were y'all at the Grammys or something like that?
No, we were in our
Studio.
studio, and they were coming to town.
She was coming to town. She was playing a show with the Pretenders.
Hugs was
I
so
actually-
complimentary of her, and
I went
she
to
just
the
was
show.
having none of it.
Yeah, no. She had written a book about being a vegetarian. And Kelly asked her how she got into vegetarianism, and Chrissy Hine refused to talk about vegetarianism like it was some controversial subject. And she
Yeah.
just made it really weird.
Yeah.
And then everything we asked her after the vegetarian thing, she just was real resentful and had a tone. We hung up on her. We got rid of her. We're like,
Yeah.
we hate you. Click. She's gone. It
Mhm.
was just, I mean, I didn't get it. It was one of those. We've talked to a number of people and we've been adversarial on purpose, and I understood why everything went sideways, but I didn't get what the hell the problem was with the Chrissy Hine thing. I don't know what her.
Well, the figure skater chick who beat up
get
Nancy
that.
Kerrigan,
Tanya Harding.
Tanya Harding. Yeah, I understood why she walked out. She didn't. She said people did not care to hear about the Olympics anymore, and we're like, why you have this boxing match if nobody cares about what happened? Yes, of course they do. And also, though, my biggest regret is the comedian
Jim Gaffigan.
Oh God, I
Yeah, I
love
talked
him.
about that too. I like him so much.
I
It
know.
was his birthday the other day. I talked about this whole story on the High Noon Show about how I guess I have to hate him and I'm at war with him, but I regret
No.
this. James, he walked out on the show. We made him wait in the green room. We were talking about Madonna and Britney Spears making out on the MTV.
That was
Awards.
totally our bad. We screwed up on that. That's our bad. We
We
should
were
not have
rolling,
kept him waiting for so long.
It was a current events hot topic. We were
It was not that
rolling.
hot of a topic.
It was the
Who
night before.
cares?
Yes, it was. No, it was a big deal. It was our bread and butter. It's what we do. As Dick Hunter called it at the time, it was a Pugs and Kelly 9/11 moment. That's
We spent like an hour and a half on these chicks kissing, giving a quick kiss to each other. Who cares?
It was a big deal. It was a big deal.
It was not that big of a deal.
Demo. Yes. Well,
I did not think
bring in
so.
some middling comedian who we had no idea was going to turn out to be really big.
No, he was
We're
really big. Yeah.
rolling, man. Dick Hunter was in there. That was a good segment. That was a
Don't
good
remind me
segment.
of bad memories with Dick Hunter being somewhere where I was.
Why? Why?
I hate him. I do
Something you
not
need
like
to
that.
tell us?
Why? Yeah. What's that about?
Oh, he's a pompous ass. Are you kidding me? You don't know this?
I love him.
I know. You can find humor in people being dicks. I did not find humor in it. He was a complete ass to me most of the time. And I just didn't find many redeeming qualities that he had.
All right. All right. James,
I tried to like him. I tried to.
Any thoughts? Yeah, that comes out of left field. I didn't think that was the case.
No, my experience has been different. First off, I'm a little
because you're a guy.
Well,
That's why.
I'm also very biased because I was a fan of his when he was on like the Hot Spot and the Wild Ass Circus.
I don't know what any of those things are.
Yeah, and so by the time I met him, when I was working for y'all before I met him, and he's done nothing but favors for me. He's been
No,
totally
I've tried to like
nice.
him, but he was constantly digging. He was hitting me from below whenever he could. Yeah,
He kind of does that to us too, but we're not pussies about it.
Yes, I know, because he's real
fun.
arrogant and thinks he's the smartest man in the room at all times.
And he
Don't
can't
forget
be,
that he
'cause
also
I
wanted
am.
to interview OJ. Come on, he did that too.
He
Brought
did
OJ into
interview
our
OJ.
studio.
He did. Yeah.
Ugh,
No, I
gross.
OJ,
But
yeah.
all he's
No.
ever done for me is favors. And I remember a few years ago, I called him. I was like, "So you were in the room when Lamar Odom like OD'd?" He's like, "Well, no, I was like the first one in the room after
Of course he
OD'd."
was.
Yeah.
was the
So
first
and
one there.
he just took time out of his day, stopped whatever he was doing, and talked on my show for 10
About how
minutes.
great he was for being in that place. Yes.
Better than me. I wasn't there.
I don't know
laws-
that makes it better than you that he was there.
Look, if someone in the next room for me is ODing, it's not going to be Lamar Odom. It's going to be like Skeeter from the trailer park.
He's like the Forrest Gump of all bad things happening in the world. He's right there when it happens.
Not all
but
bad
he's-
things.
He may be, but he's still been
Many.
very nice to me, and he's done me favors, and like
All
he got
right.
us back at the UFC weigh-in and the Victory
Enough.
Plaza.
Enough.
Oh.
Enough. We don't need to be trashing people.
Oh no, I don't care because I will never see him again forever. I can pretty much guarantee
What
that.
did he do to you?
He's one of those constant like knee cutters. Like you say something and then they say something really sarcastic to cut you off and to make you look bad. He would do that all the time.
You know what? Maybe we should just play a game since she doesn't care anymore. And I love this independence. Why don't we just throw a name out and get Kelly's hot take on this individual?
I would love that. Are you really
James,
down for that?
I like most people, so it shouldn't be.
James, you want to go first?
Oh my God, I'm a sicko. Chloe.
Okay.
Who?
Chloe.
Cloak?
Oh,
Chloe. I feel really bad that I really liked him, but clearly I was not informed.
Maybe a little background for people who don't know what we're talking about, James.
Oh, don't make me tell a story, dude.
I ain't gonna do it. And
right,
Kelly's
from my-
just-
Child molestation, right? He
Yeah,
had
from
he
my
had child
point of
porn.
view, when I went to work for y'all in 2002, he was the promotions
I
director
really liked him.
for the Cluster, the radio station, whatever company that was back then. And it turned out he got on the Russ Martin show, and then he continued the show after Russ died, and then he just got arrested by the FBI in January for.
I don't know when it was, but I remember
porn.
hearing it and being like, "What, Chloe? Like my favorite person on that freaking show?"
Yeah, and some of which is alleged to have been self-made. So that's the worst thing I've ever heard. And dude, I have a horrible inner conflict because I was friends with the guy. I clearly didn't know that about him, but
but if you knew that about him, you wouldn't be friends with him. So there's no reason necessarily to be conflicted. You just feel bad because you wish he was the person that you thought he was, and he was not.
Oh my God, I would turn him into the cops if I knew that back then.
For sure.
Just immediately, just no questions asked.
And that's sad because I liked him the way I knew him, but that
got
know
ruined,
him.
didn't it? That it's like a person just got hit by a missile and blowed up.
Yeah, I have kids. I can't think of even if I didn't have kids.
All right, Pugs,
you just
throw
can't
out a name.
rearrange that.
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable with it. I don't want to keep going with this game.
Yeah, I know.
I ruined
It's
it.
not
Yeah,
good.
you got one out. You're the first one out of the box. It was like, no. And then I see people are suggesting names that I don't want to get into in the chat room. Some people may or may not be. Just no, we're not going to go into
can't even
I
see.
am uncomfortable with this. Kelly has put herself out there. There is absolutely no reason why we should continue with this. James, you got anything?
Oh, I
you
like
wanna say?
Bob. What's the problem with Bob?
Bob who?
Bob.
Lavelle.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
he's
I
fine.
I like Bob. Bob's
I
a
got
good
nothing
dude.
to do with
All
him.
right, but still, let's move on. James, do you got any? Do you got anything that you wanted to bring forward on today's show?
No, I do not.
Oh, you don't? How about you, Kelly? What? No. Oh, Kelly has an interesting little thing going on at home, don't you? How's Jeff? I should have asked. There was a medical emergency at Kelly's house.
Jeff's got a shit ton of stuff going on with him. The irony, as I was telling Ed, in that we are finally doing landscaping in our backyard, which is just sand. And we've got a pool, like not to be bougie, but it's freaking hot here all the time. So
Everybody's got pools, right?
I know. And we're paying landscapers to shovel rock into the areas where we're planting trees. Our neighbor 2 doors down got a load of rock delivered to his house that he had to have spread on his front yard. So while we're paying people to do that for us, Jeff's over at our neighbors doing that for him. And it's 100 degrees and he's shoveling freaking rock. And then he comes back and he's like sitting in the hot tub. And then he goes to have dinner and he sits down and then he stands up after he finished eating, full on passed out. Just like a limp doll, passed out. And I was like, oh my God, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? And he came through and I'm like, do I need to call 911? Hoping to God I do not, because it's so expensive to ride in an ambulance. I know that from experience. So no. Let me get to bed. Okay. 4 a.m, he gets up to go to the bathroom, full on passes out again, just collapses right into the toilet. And I was like, God, is he drunk? I didn't see him drinking anything, but that's automatically what I go to. And he's just like sitting there kind of twisted, like his legs are out from under him, like how a gymnast would do, but not like how a 50-year-old man would do. And I was like, do I need to call an ambulance? Can you get up? Can you get up? Yeah. And then at 7:30, he wakes up and he's like, my legs hurt. I think I broke my leg, which I wouldn't have doubted because of the way he fell. Yeah. So I take him to the hospital to get an x-ray. And they come back in and they're like, well, your leg's not broken, but your kidneys are failing. So we're going to have to admit you because you're on a level 3 out of 4 of kidneys failure, because he was dehydrated from shoveling the rock and not drinking water.
And when was this? Was not last week, but the week
2
before?
weeks ago.
2
Yeah.
weeks ago. So it wasn't even, or was it 105 the way it's been?
It's like 100. Yeah. You know what it is. It's like, it's freaking South Texas. It's hot.
This happened. This is what we now know Marion Barber died from.
Yeah.
Marion Barber died from heat stroke.
Yeah. That was sad to learn.
Him. Jeez.
And then he's got like liver problems with an enzyme, and then he's got a high prostate level, which he's always had, but then the doctors told him that he could live without a prostate but not without a liver. And then I had said something to this, and then of course my ever compassionate brother Tommy has to text me with, Jesus, Kelly, you're just gonna unload this that's happening right now? Does Jeff even have a doctor? I'm like, yeah. How the hell do you think we know that this is all happening if he hasn't been to a doctor? Duh.
I Googled The Simpsons, the symptoms, and this is now.
So no, he's got specialists, he's got people with the VA, he's got a GP, obviously. And it's just like, yes, we know. It's just a lot of things. We could probably call that weed killer company to see something about cancer, because Jeff used to work in orchards and had to spray all that shit. It's a lot of things. But then to unload on me, like, Jesus, Kelly, you taking your husband to a doctor? Screw you, dude. Yeah.
So what's the prognosis? Where, as we sit right now today, what are we looking at?
He's been taking some medication to kill testosterone.
And he's home. He's home.
He's home.
Is he in bed or is he up and around?
No, he's up and around. And then he has to keep getting his liver checked like every 2 weeks to see if that improves. It's Not necessarily improving, but it's, it's not like I wake up in the morning and feel like, oh my God, I got to check a pulse. It's not like that. But yeah, it's health issues. Between that and me having brain seizures, we're a lot of fun to live
Oh
with.
my God. What's
I
going on
know.
down there?
Tell me about it.
Y'all still arguing a lot?
Yeah, welcome to my world. Yes.
Jesus.
See, I'm
Family
kind of
violence and
interested in that.
screaming matches.
Can I poke around at that? Because I don't have arguments with my
You
wife like
can.
that.
He's been
How does
going
it not
to
get settled?
a psychologist and anger management person, and I am doing the same.
I don't think you're supposed to be talking about him doing it.
Oh, that's true. Is that a HIPAA thing?
I don't know. I think it's all right. Well,
No.
no. It's a marriage thing. It's just the trust
It's just
thing.
vaguely speaking.
No, I mean it's he
Like,
has
do y'all
a
argue
tendency
every
to be
day?
no, but he does have a tendency to. Pugs, you always told this story about how a guy we used to work with, Buzz Kilman,
Yeah.
a news guy, and Buzz would be Buzz once walked down the hall, and he said, "Gee, Diet, my shoelace is untied. What the hell else is going to go wrong today?" That's kind of how Jeff will be sometimes about things, where he's just like gets really upset, and where you're like, "What? What are you mad about that for?" But then I will keep things in until I explode over something, and you're like, "What? You're really mad about that?" No, I'm mad about 1,000 other freaking things, but this is what tilted it. So we just have to get better at communicating and not getting so angry at things.
I don't have the big blow-ups. James, you're a mutant. You and your wife are mutant. I don't have the big blow-ups because
I think you're not living life to the fullest, James.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's got the whole
Right. Even in life. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you? Seriously, ask yourself, if you're not passionate enough to have the other person drive you nuts, then is it really
over small things too?
No, but I do that as well. What you were just describing with Jeff, like I will rarely simmer, explode screaming match. I yell all the time about everything. Like I call it venting.
Yeah.
Like my kid would be like, "Geez, Dad, it's just a turn that you missed," right? So like I miss a turn when we're driving. I'm like, "God, Dad!" I like scream, and my kid's like, "What is going on with you?" I'm like, "Well, I'm venting." See, I get all of this out for these stupid little things. So then when something big comes along, I can remain calm and cool. I think it's a way to live.
My favorite thing is when Jeff lectures the dogs. They don't speak English. They don't understand what you're saying about an open door. It's not going to translate.
Wait a second. Lecturing your dogs, that's part of being a guy. That's one of the reasons you have.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
People who will listen to you.
I'm like, he doesn't know what you're saying.
Yeah, my dad says complex sentences to dogs, and it drives me kind of nuts too. It's like, you're screaming and I can't hear the TV, so you can talk to a dog. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, exactly
I feel you on that one.
People act like you grew up with brothers and sisters and didn't have to just talk to anything that would give you any sort of emotional return. I used to talk to my goldfish.
See, now my parents are like around the age of 70, and they are in one constant argument. Like they don't stop
I get it.
arguing.
Yep.
And it's like yesterday's argument is a continuation of the day before's lunch argument, is a continuation of the day before's lunch argument, going back to the Nixon administration, basically.
Yep.
And
it started the day the hostages came home, and it's just been kind of building on that since the Reagan administration.
Oh my
gosh. Know, when me and my sister were around, and we had super busy schedules, and both of them had like careers that going, and they weren't retired, and they had a bunch of responsibilities. They didn't really argue that much when I was growing up, but then after they're retired,
too tired.
My mom's like, well, they just sit home and look at each other for 16 effing hours a day. So for
arguing takes a lot of energy. Sometimes you just have to pick your fights, hence the explosions, because you've let 1,000 things go, and then you are not putting on Deadliest Catch right now again. We're gonna watch something else. That's that's how it is here.
It's about petty stuff.
You let stuff go that irritates you, and then all of a sudden, the one small thing mounted on top of the 1,000 other small things is just like, I can't take it. I can't do anymore. I don't know. That's how we go around here.
Did this happen with previous relationships?
Oh my,
Yes.
yes. Yeah, Pugs can know. 2 nights ago, we got into a fight that I started because this lighting up trees thing, we have some lights that go on and light up the trees in our backyard, which no one can see, but it makes that buzzing sound and it's right by the bed. And I'm like, dude, I can't do it. Like, I don't know what this noise is coming from, but I can't sleep. I'm already a bad sleeper, as Pugs knows. I can't fall asleep. I can't with.
So you've got a light array in your backyard that is near the window where you sleep, and the light array makes a noise at night, a buzzing noise. Okay, and this bothers
Constant.
you. And Jeff loves the lights
Because
Jeff
you know that when something bothers you, then all you can do is focus on it.
Right.
And that's exactly where I was. I'm like, I gotta turn. What is this? I gotta turn this off. I gotta turn it off. I gotta turn it off. And Jeff was just like, not wanting to get up and work on it. And I'm like, I'm gonna go out to the fuse box and turn off all the freaking fuses until it shuts the fuck up.
Oh no.
Yeah. And then I'm like, I can't turn this off. Please turn this off.
Did he string these lights? Did Jeff string these lights?
No, the landscapers did. Because remember he was shoveling the other neighbor's yard.
I thought maybe you were just like passively shitting on his hard work.
No. I love the lights are fine. It's great. It looks good, but not for me being up for 72 hours. That's not cool. I can't do it. And it was, I would say it was at least 50% me, if not more, in the fact that I just kept focused. And I was just like, oh, I know Discovery ID is on and we're watching, some killer show, but I can't get this buzzing out of my head. I just can't. And so he actually went out in the back and he's like, fine, fuck it. And then turned it off. And I was like, okay, thank God.
And that still wasn't good enough.
Nope, that was good enough. But now I got to have a conversation with the landscapers to figure out, okay, how do we have lights but not have them make this noise? Because our neighbors have lights that don't make noise. How do we get that?
They're gonna love you. They're gonna see you coming.
That's the other thing, is the neighbor's master bedroom is right by mine. And it's just like, we're going to have another situation where we have to move because we have to get rid of neighbors. I don't want that.
Okay.
Because I missed
anything else? Anything else?
No, that was just an example of a dumb freaking fight that we had, but yet was way more important to me.
It sounds
like probably needed to be.
It sounds like, and I've known you long enough, your relationship is based on some kind of adversarial energy. You like that. You guys like teasing each other. Even when you're at your happiest, you're teasing each other. You're poking at each other.
No, I don't like that.
No.
Mm-mm.
You don't like that. Okay. So, okay.
No, I don't like to argue. I put so much to try to push it aside.
12 years of talking to you for 4 hours a day says different, but okay.
I'm tired.
Yeah, but did you argue with your first husband like this?
No. Shemp?
Oh, that's right, because that was the problem. You couldn't get anything out of him.
Nope. Did not argue. We did not fight. Mm-mm.
So maybe this isn't a you thing after all, huh?
Well, I don't think I fought with Tyson. I fought somewhat with Rob, but mostly because of Russ Martin.
You fought with all of them. You fought with all your boyfriends. I fought with all my girlfriends.
Tyson didn't like the fact that he felt that angels that were watching over him would not approve of how I was living my life.
Oh my God.
That's a difficult thing to have.
That's a deal breaker.
It's tough. It's tough because I don't know how you argue with that. I clearly wasn't successful. Thank God though, because jeez, his mom hated me so much. And then Rob was good, but he was going to move to Green Bay and live elsewhere. So what good was that going to do? I like him. I miss him. He is funny. But that's pretty much it. Then we had the psycho military guy that sent an email to Gavin and to you about how horrible I was.
Psycho military. I don't know this. I don't know anything.
Yeah, the guy who was in charge of the military, what's the Marine thing where you donate presents, Toys for Tots. And remember we went out to dinner and he was like really into me. Then one day he was upset because I didn't call him back, and it was because I was out with my friends.
The Major. Is that who you're talking
Yes.
about?
Yeah, he went freaking crazy.
I don't remember an email, but yeah, I remember there was some situation there.
Yeah, he sent an email to Gavin, to you,
weird.
to Sybil, to like everybody about I don't even know what. That was weird. I attract some real winners. What's funny? It's not even like one date. It's like several dates. Like I have a history with crazy people. Normally it takes one person.
Well, you're happily married. Now, look, it all paid off. You couldn't be happier. You're living down there on the beach. You got a lovely family.
Sure.
Yeah.
I haven't been to the beach in 3 years,
Pugs,
and it's a mile from me.
Go ahead, James.
No, she doesn't like the town she lives in. She's not living happily ever after. She argues with her spouse every day. She hates her neighbors. She hates the community.
I like the new neighbors.
No, not every day.
Right.
She lives 3 miles from the beach, but she hadn't been there in 3 years. So
no, because I hate sand.
For her anyway.
Yeah.
So that does nothing for her. It's hot as hell all the time. There's no such thing as winter. Her Spanish has not improved, even though it would really help her life.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's hating life. What are you talking about?
It's not how I envisioned, but it still has its benefits. My kids are great, even though 2 of them moved away from me. I mean, but they're in their 20s, so they're supposed to. They're supposed to.
Where did Declan go? I thought Declan was still living down there.
Oh, he lives down here. Yeah.
So he just moved out, and your mother guilting him with the whole moved away from me.
He needed to.
Your daughter moved away. Your daughter definitely moved away.
Yeah.
Your daughter definitely got as far as she could.
Yeah.
That's a mother-daughter thing. She got out. But the son, no.
Well, no, she wants to be an actress, and it's not happening in Corpus Christi.
No.
So she had to move to LA. She does some stuff out there. Declan is working constantly, doing things I don't even completely understand. Something about recruiting, but he does it the reverse way. He tries to get colleges to recruit his players.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Must be. And then he's in charge of Twitter. And I like all of the stuff.
Does he do all the highlight tapes for the players?
He does that, yeah. And he's
cool.
Sounds so bad. He's a varsity coach for offensive line. That's it. And then something about freshman A or B team. And then he coached track. He coached shot put. He's never done.
Why is that funny?
Because he's never done shot put. He's not in track, but he coaches.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Sure. I mean, he does a good job. Yeah. And he works real hard.
I feel like we're on fumes here. Do we have anything to talk about, or are we just gonna?
I thought you wanted to talk about Uvalde.
No.
Yeah, nobody does.
Did you see that? That is the big thing, and I guess I will have to get into it tomorrow. Or no, actually, I'm not. That's right. I got to wait around for my kid to lift heavy things and then tell me how much. That's my relationship with my kid lately.
Yeah. No,
you know what I'm benching now? What? I don't care. I don't. I try to be.
I can bench 55 pounds.
I don't even know what's good. I don't.
It's not that good. It's not good.
No. I mean,
no, but why do I need to bench anything? I have fake boobs. I don't need to grow my pectorals. James, is that what it is? Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Right. No one's looking at your pecs anyway.
No, I mean different parts of them.
Where were we going? What were we talking about?
We were talking about Uvalde, and it's so upsetting.
Oh yeah.
Because
first of all, James, let's catch James up. James, you know what we're talking about here? Did you see the video? Okay, so the video was
yeah, I didn't watch
the video. It's the same thing.
It's like 2 hours of just raw video. You can sit there, you can watch it all. We see it unfold. We hear the shots. We see everything from the car accident in the very beginning of it out in front of the school, to the gunman running into the school, to the gunman firing his first couple of shots, to the policeman showing up. I watched.
To the police sitting outside of the school while
Yeah.
hearing the gunshots go off.
Yeah.
That's the part that I cannot wrap my head around.
I can't. The thing that I found most troubling was that when the guy was inside the room, we hear the gunshots going off, bang, 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 how the cops all ran away from the door
and started handcuffing parents who were wanting to run in.
No,
what is the cops' new side of the story? Because it's not what they originally said. So what's their current position?
I don't know.
They were waiting on SWAT to arrive with more weapons, and that they didn't know what was happening in the room.
But then SWAT arrived, and there was still another hour of them standing in the hallway, and then there were more gunshots with them running. They would be outside the door of the classroom. And you see all this on the school's security system.
Yep.
They're outside the door of the classroom, and then you hear bang, 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 bang in the classroom. And they don't kick in the door and stop the shooting. They run away from the whoop, 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 whoop. All of these cops run down the whoa, he's shooting. I mean,
then to watch that mother who ran into the school and told the cops, like, you're going to have to chase me down, and went to both of her kids' classrooms by herself and took her kids out of the classrooms and took them out of the school, while the cops saying, we're going to arrest you. But she did it herself. She's like, F you. No, I'm going to get my kids. If you're not going to go get my kids, I'm going to go get my kids. And she did.
What's going to happen to these cops?
They've motioned to have the video suppressed, if that's the even correct term. They don't want any more video released.
It's out there. It's on YouTube.
Sucks. Yeah, good luck.
It's trending.
Shit's out of the horse. It's not gonna go away.
James, that's an interesting question, though. Let's take the police officers who are outside the door of the classroom when the shots ring out from inside the classroom. Let's take the case of the police officers who turn and run. What do you do? I don't know what you can do to them.
I don't know.
Can you fire them for cowardice? I mean, because
you can certainly fire them. I was thinking about charges, though.
But I know what you're talking about. Charges for what? I mean, look, it's a despicable act. To me, it's not the way a police officer is supposed to behave, especially when the community's children are involved. But I mean, is it illegal to hear shots and run away from it? We want our policemen to be superheroes. We want them to run in there, and that's sort of what TV has given us this impression of. But in real life, they're just regular people. They're scared. They're cowards.
It's not real life. They're cops. Well, they're trained.
No. Look, some people are like that. Some people aren't. And if you're not one of those people, you shouldn't be a cop.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're going to be,
there's a lot of people who are cops who shouldn't be cops.
Right. And so we need to, so we need to punish those people to discourage the cowards or the people who are not willing to live up to the commitment that they made, to discourage them from even applying in the first place. Because if you're a cop that runs away from an active shooter situation, I think that's like a fireman who stands outside of a burning building and goes, I don't know if I'm going to go save your baby. That looks kind of dangerous there.
That's a good point.
He clearly shouldn't be a fireman. And if you're going to sign up for that duty and then show up and not perform the duty, that is not just like a dereliction of your honor. That's kind of a negligent manslaughter. I don't know what like the proper legal channel would be, but it seems like a manslaughter violation of some sort, reckless manslaughter, something to that effect.
I know what you're saying. You should at very least be fired and stripped of any kind of money or benefits that you get from being a cop, because you weren't one. So you lose your job there.
Based on what I've seen on the videotape, if they want to hold all of these police officers up to account and say, look, this is how you behaved in the line of duty, this is beneath our standards and you can't be a cop anymore, that's fine. But I just don't know that you can throw a guy in jail for being a bad cop. If in the course of him being a bad cop, he doesn't have his knee on somebody's neck, or you know what I mean? I mean, these ran from a fight. They ran from their duty.
Yeah. That's where like reckless manslaughter, or
is it? It might be.
Yeah, where your actions are so incredibly reckless or irrational, and it led to the further death or harm of some other third party, then that kind of fits a loose definition of manslaughter.
Doesn't it say in the badge to protect and serve? You weren't doing either.
Yeah, no.
And so if there's a guy out there that's drowning, and that's when you decide that you don't want to live your lifeguard duties, then you basically got somebody killed by living that lie. That because the fraud wasn't the fact that you didn't save them. The fraud was that you've been taking money this entire time, and you've been given these extraordinary powers and immunity to be a cop. And when you're actually asked to live up to all the money and whatever that you've been given, you decide you're not going to fulfill your end of the bargain. That's kind of like theft from the taxpayers. That's a fraud. That's a manslaughter. That's a something.
Yeah, when we need you to help, what you're called for, and you can't do it. Why are you even there?
The thing that I can't get over is that in any future situation where there is a person in a school, will any parent, I'll put it to you this way, will any parent not run into the school should this happen again?
No, I'm telling you, Pugs, I know for sure you would. If Mason were in there and you heard guns going off, I know for sure. I know you well enough. I've been in situations you would absolutely run the F in. And so would I.
I think there will be 50 parents in SUVs crashing the gate and crashing into the front of the
hell
school.
Yes. Hell yes.
They aren't gonna. No police officer on the scene of a school shooting is ever going to be able to hold a parent back again. We've seen the video. We saw fool us once, but no, that is never. So I mean, this really does create a really interesting scenario. The next
How would you imagine being a parent out in front of the school and the cops aren't going in and they're not letting you in and you're hearing shots going off? How do you not think for the rest of your life, what if I had just run in? What if my kids were one of the last?
Sounds like manslaughter, right?
And there's something there. I would just be thinking, I should have gone in. I should have gone in. I should have gone in. Because what if my kid was the last one killed and I could have gone in? I just don't know how you dismiss that as a parent. You wouldn't get past it. I would never get past it.
Parents are now forever going to run into active shooter situations, and it's going to escalate to where there's going to be some Yahoo who runs in armed himself. Like, might as well just round up a posse. Let's just go get Doc Holliday and let's go walk in through the quad to the gymnasium or whatever and go take this dude out ourselves. I mean, you are leaving it up. If the cops aren't going to do it, then the people are going to end up just naturally having to do it because we're not going to set.
So where's the trust? I mean, people.
It's gone.
The parents would have stayed outside because they would have trusted what the police were doing because they're the experts and they know how to handle it. And turns out, no, they don't.
The part about this whole situation that has been completely forgotten is in the days immediately following it, it was all about the reports. So the story when it first came out was that the reason they didn't go in was because they were being held back because the mayor had supposedly wanted the local law enforcement to wait for the federal border patrol special team to come in there. Now, many reasons for this. The local mayor didn't want. Apparently what they were trying to say is that the local mayor is close friends with the governor and wants or was promised some kind of railroad commissioner. That's apparently still a thing in Texas. That's what it was. Like some job with the railroad commission.
Sure.
So the governor or the mayor of the town, when this was unfolding, had his police force intentionally stand back and wait for the feds to come in. Because if it all went crazy in an election year, then they would be able to blame the feds and not Texas state or whatever. Okay, that was a story that was big and hot and heavy in the first 48 hours. Then it all shifted to the sheriff. Remember the sheriff who has now stepped down. It all shifted to it was the sheriff's fault that the sheriff demanded that they not go in, or that the sheriff was so flustered. Remember, he left his radio in his car. That's why there was no radio conversation for like the first hour, which is why when we were covering it here on the High Noon Show, we stopped covering it because there was no radio traffic. So it must have been over. And we walked away from it. I mean, I want to know this mayor. There is something going on with this mayor. He has just completely vanished. And it seems like the people who are getting in trouble for this now are the rank and file police officers and the local police chief who was put on there. But there was big talk about the mayor. I mean, they talked about it on CNN. They even talked about it on Fox News. And then suddenly nobody has whispered anything about the mayor anymore. And Abbott has certainly stepped away from this thing. We don't hear about anything having to do with Abbott.
At first he was all behind. Imagine how much worse it could have been.
But now they're starting to cast blame. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I think the police officers in that town wanted to crash the gates. They wanted to go in. How can you not? I think that there's 3 people here right now who, if in that situation we wore stars on our uniform, we would go in. These were parents. These cops weren't. These cops, I can't believe that they're all cowardly bad guys who decided to just let this unfold. They were told not to go in. Who told them not to go in and for what reason?
Married to a cop who
Was it
tried
what?
to go in, one of the teachers who was shot and told,
Yes.
and then they would not let him go. They pulled him back.
I just think that it comes from higher up than just let's blame the guys in the hallway who were scared. And that there was a real failure here. That
I think it's both.
These cops were given orders to not end the situation. Who gave the orders and why were the orders given? If it was for some crazy political reason that the state of Texas didn't want their law enforcement involved and they wanted to easily pass it over to the feds and make it their responsibility because the Border Patrol team is supposed to be elite, right? And they were 45 minutes away. And as soon as they arrived, they went in and ended the situation. If it turns out because, in an election year, they didn't want you know what I'm saying? I mean,
we'll never know that.
But I think we will. I think the story, I think people are not going to let this story go.
I think people hear what they want to hear and they want to be, well, the cops did the best they could.
I just can't believe that the cops willingly just stood outside and let it happen. I believe
we saw them run. We saw them run. So
yes,
they're probably happy to. So they're probably happy to hear the idea of maybe we should wait for these other guys to go on. They're like, jeepers, it's kind of dangerous in there. Yeah, maybe we should wait.
Maybe
they're just more than happy to hear that.
Let it be the feds' responsibility. That's kind of
I'm shocked how unanimous this horrible decision is. Like, if 1 or 2 guys runs in the heat of battle, that's just humans, But all of them, like 17 of them, I didn't see the video. How many guys just decided?
There were more than that. Yeah.
Oh my God, 50 easily. Yeah. 50. By the time
there's an army of 50 dudes going against one shooter, and they all got scared at the same time, and they all ran, even though they're outgunning home skill at 50-1.
And they were handcuffing parents.
This is a level of like mass cowardice that is embarrassing.
Or were they obeying orders?
I don't care obeying orders.
Or were they just not trained? They're not trained. No. Which is odd that my kids would be more prepared for a freaking school shooting because they go through drills like this every other month in their schools. They know what to do to best that they can.
If you watch the full raw video from the hallways, here's what you see. The initial police officers, the Uvalde police officers, there's 3 of them. They show up first. They're in the hallway. Then after them, some county police officers show up. So then adds about 3 more. So now there's about 6. At that point, a SWAT team with shields and tactical equipment and all that stuff, they arrive. And that's
how many minutes till they arrive?
About 10 of them. This is over the course of about 20
But the cops were already chasing him. They were already chasing him before he got to the school because didn't he kill his grandmother?
Right. Yeah, but they didn't. There were no cops on his tail when he wrecked in front.
Yes, there were. They were chasing him.
Funeral parlor thing, right?
We don't. But we don't. Here's what we see. We see the car race in front of the school, then spin out in a ditch, and then we see 2 security officers from the school start to walk towards the car. At that point, firing occurs from the car. He starts to shoot from the wrecked car. The 2 security guards run. They run off. Shooter walks right into the school. Now, those 2 security guards that he encountered, they were said to be security guards at the school. We, in the video, do not see any Uvalde police officer hot on his trail when he spins out. There is no Uvalde police. He walks right into the school. And then we see a second video from someone across the street who saw the wreck and started recording with her phone. Right. We see a different video, a different angle of him walking into school. There were no Uvalde police officers there at that time. And then we see him enter the school. And we just see him walking between classes down the hallway, whistling with his gun. Nobody. And then a kid pops out and boom. And that's when it starts. It's awful. He walked right into the school and just started killing people. And then a whole bunch of cops, I'll say 50 by the time the tactical team arrived, 50 cops huddled around, hanging out in this hallway, not doing anything. Just and listening to gunfire come from the roof.
That's
pap, 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 pap,
heartbreaking. The whole thing's heartbreaking.
It's unbelievable. It's about 2 hours. It's about a 2-hour video. Now I skipped ahead because there is a lot of standing around, but it's somebody, they were obeying orders. There is no way that any man. All right.
I think no one was giving orders.
That could be it too. There was a chain of. Why was nobody giving orders? Did nobody want responsibility for what could possibly happen? I don't get it. Are police and law enforcement, are they so afraid of the gotcha, Me Too, canceled, Black Lives Matter, that cops aren't doing anything in any situation anymore for fear of what's going to happen in the light of day?
I think that they just don't know what to do. And if there's not somebody telling you what to do, then you don't know what everyone else is going to do. You assume somebody's got a plan and they're going to tell you the plan. So you're waiting for the plan, but there's no plan coming.
Somebody ordered them to stand down. And I don't know if it was the mayor, and I don't know if it was the police chief, but somebody ordered those officers to not go in there because they had the firepower. And then when they finally go in, when the federal tactical team arrives, you see them arrive on the scene, and there's probably 10 seconds of standing around. They show up and boom, 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 right down the hallway into the room, gunfire, 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 and it's over.
My son and kids, like they go to Flower Bluff Independent School District. I assume no one's going to track us down enough to want to look into that.
No one cares.
But exactly. So they just within the past year, the Flower Bluff School District has their own police force. Whatever you want to make of that. I don't know what that would be. I mean,
that's a regular thing now. I guess all schools have a police force.
They had it, but then it's like, and then my son, Declan, the teacher, says that when he goes into his classroom, the door shuts and automatically locks. But I know when I've gone to pick up my younger kids from school, the same school district, those doors are not locked. And so I hate to agree with that, whatever horrible senator it is. We have a choice of two here in Texas that it was like, well, the first thing we need is locks on the doors. I'm like, I hate to say it, but yes, we need locks on the doors. Also, no one needs to go into school unless they buzz through and people know you're coming. The door should always be locked. Why are they open? Who's going there? Like to sell candy? What?
My high school was almost an entirely open campus. You could just
we were locked.
In and out. You could do whatever you want. All right, James. Thank you. We'll talk tomorrow night.
Unless
James.
you smoked, you could get smokers' permission to leave the campus.
There you go. The 80s, there were no rules. All right, thank you, Kelly.
All right, thank you.
And there goes James.
Oh, bye,
and
James.
I will not be doing a noon show tomorrow. I have obligations. I do apologize for that. We will be back with the Pillow Talk edition, Pugs and Parker. Maybe Kelly, you want to be on tomorrow?
Sure.
You don't mean that. All right, I'll check in. I'll check in. We'll see.
I don't have anything else to do.
All right. Well,
not that you're the lowest on the. If I had anything better to do, I'd do it. It's not like that.
All right. Well, then we'll see you tomorrow. Kelly will be back with us tomorrow on Pugs and Parker. Proudly present Pillow Talk with Kelly. That's tomorrow. All right. It is another day tomorrow, and unfortunately, no high noon show. Tomorrow's the last day of no high noon shows this week. The schedule goes back to normal. All right. Appreciate you. Tip the show if you can. I understand that's the thing we need around here. All right. I got to go. Love you all. Have a great night. We'll talk tomorrow. Down the road I'll travel nest. I am on a never-ending quest. I am on a never-ending quest.